What's going on, traders? How we doing in this market? And it's one of those days where this quote, and this is probably the number one quote that I would tell you guys to remember, is that the market likes to hurt where it can hurt the most. Today, the max pain trade is on, and it's a tough market to deal with this, right? Bulls, bears, both getting run over. That's what's going on right now. At least it seems like. Let's take a look underneath the hood and see what happened today in the market that tells me that, hey, today the max pain was on both sides of the market. And that gets really tough. Let's talk a little bit about that. Let's get into the market. You guys can see the SPY action here all over the place and chopping around. And this is the hardest type of market to trade because really the ones that are making the money are the contrarians out there, right? The ones that are going against what is being said in the media, against what is the logical move for the market. A lot of the times that's what seems to be making the money this year. And that's very difficult because you're essentially going against what is the usual understanding of the market, right? And I see this all the time. Sometimes the max pain trade just loves to come at it. And this is what we're seeing here, the psychology and reverse psychology, right? So going into the market today, how are traders feeling? Well, they were feeling pretty bullish about tech, right? At least yesterday they were, until this morning. And then you got the news headline, right? It was, of course, the breaking news that came in the morning, and it really kind of affected the chip stocks. Nvidia having a really tough day out there. That's the headline at the bottom there, scrolling by, and definitely smash the like because we were able to cover that for you guys before the market opened. But definitely a confusing headline here, as we thought that this would drive the market down, and that's exactly what happened here, right? You guys see it right here. Right around this time is when they hit the tape. It was right around like 8:30, and boom, we started to come down. And of course, what does that happen to do there? Well, it washes out this support, this 433.63. So if you were looking at that as support, even if you got long in some of these tech names, you're like, okay, well, if I can hold to that support, if it doesn't break there, I'll be all right. And what happens out the gates, or right even before the gates, a flush down, then a move up to that level, and then a flush right back down. So what does that tell me? That even if you hung on for that first flush and you're looking to see if maybe we bounce back out the gates, when we reject that move right here, it starts to make you want to do what? Hit the out button as a bull. So the bulls are the ones that could get destroyed on this downside action, right? Well, that right there goes and knocks them down, right? And I'll put this in the we'll put this in the green color because this is the when the bulls get stopped out, right? And then what happens after that? Well, then the bears start coming in here and trying to get short, right? Where this price action came from. And now I'm going to draw that as this box here. And there, now the max pain is no longer on the bulls, it's on the bears now, as you start to see this decline come in, right? And as you get this pop back, what happens? Well, all the people that got short off the VWAP end up getting stopped out as these stocks start to climb back. And then what happens from there? Well, let's put the max train, the max pain trade on again. Let's say if you went long during this box here, and I'm going to leave it colorless because this seems like the box that you probably started to go long on and started to think, okay, well, then maybe we're going to drive higher. But what ends up happening here? Well, the max pain trade comes right back on to the bulls. So if you did get long this morning after this kind of bearish tune there, and then now it goes right back to the bear. And then now the bulls are getting hit, right? And now they're getting trapped again. This is just how easy the max pain trade can wash out traders. And I think that this is the negative sometimes of trading in the intraday, day trading, right? Day trading can a lot of the times flip on you, go back and forth. A lot of times traders get mad because people are kind of flip-floppy in the day trading game. But the truth is, that's exactly how the stocks trade. And reverse psychology comes into play pretty much like 9 out of 10 times a lot of the times in the market. And so this is why we sometimes are going to see what the max pain trade, and ask yourself the question, where is the max pain in this trade? What would happen yesterday? What changed from yesterday to today? And would those traders get wiped out? Well, you guys see it. It was a pretty tough day on both sides of the market. Catching up with the chat. What's going on out there, guys? It's good to see you guys out there. Definitely smash the like. Blue still giving you green. Nvidia giving me heartburn. No worry. Just take some Tums, man. It solves it all. Nick Brown in the chat. What's going on out there, man? How you doing? I hope school's doing well for you, man. We all miss you like always, Nick. You're always going to be loved, man. Definitely miss you coming in with the news in the morning. Of course, I'm still catching the news, but I ain't getting it from the Nick Brown, and I need some Nick Brown in my life. So hope you're enjoying school, man. Hope you're able to catch the show sometimes. And the door's open, like always, right, Nick? All right, let's get to the market. Let's take a look at what happened in today's market. What is moving today? What's leading the market today from the open is basic materials. This is interesting as we're starting to see certain areas here lead today. Aluminum, really strong out the gates here. AA, Alcoa, you can see that move. That was a big push there, 28.25, getting a nice little push. And then I also saw CENX getting a nice little lift. Those were names that I'll keep in mind. Silver lately and gold have been strong. And you guys can see here, gold really taking off. I'm a little bit frustrated in this trade because I caught it early, just never took the shot there on that Monday for AU. That's really the one that I like. You can see we did a little bit of a pullback, now starting to drive higher. We'll see what happens when gold overall doesn't look too bad. I think it's a good environment to kind of look for these gold trades. Look at the Barrick gold today. Nice move there to 1639. It's definitely a move that I don't want to be missing moving forward. So just be watching that. Another way you guys can watch this, of course, the JNUG. We'll see what happens to these if they can continue lifting higher. Gold trade, right? Doesn't look too bad. Nice little move there. Steel continuing a little bit there. Nothing too big there that I'd call out. Industrial metals not looking too bad there. Coal staying strong right now. METC with a takeoff today, 22%. Man, this one just started to get going, guys. We've been talking about this one for a while now. You guys can see we drew this line back then. We expanded it here towards the break, and you guys can see now this is really starting to get moving. Now it's repeating a pattern, and that's what you want to see. Now we can look for pullbacks towards these levels if we can ever get it back there towards 1150s. But man, we're starting to get a nice little push back in coal. And why is that? Well, energy, one of our leading sectors up, the third place sector in the day. And what does that tell me? Chevron, that was the one that I wanted, guys. Look at that move there, guys. This is looking pretty good. And I've been looking for pullbacks in Chevron to get an opportunity here. So I'm definitely going to be watching for this one. Even today, I was watching this out the gates. I had orders ready to go at 166 when this pulled back to 166.11. Missed me by about 11 cents. I definitely want to get some Chevron. I like this chart. It's probably one of my favorite charts in oil. It's definitely loading up, trying to get back through 170. If it gets back through 160, yeah, we know it, that it's time to get rid of it. And that's the charts that I like. Charts that are very simple, right? I know that if it gets above 170, gives me a nice little volume continuation. Yeah, we're going to be looking good. And what do I see here? A lot of volume filling in here. And so as long as we don't go and we take that area out, I'm going to be looking at this as green. So I'm going to put this as red here, just to keep in mind that that candle, we don't want to be going back into that space. So if we come back into this space, we can be a little bit concerned. But for right now, Chevron looks like it's trying to push here. And I want to catch this move on oil. I don't want to miss the next one. So Valero is one way that I could come about it right now. And of course, you guys can see support underneath it towards about $4 down. 1, 2, 3 attempts. Reversal action starting to come in. This is starting to look good. I'll be looking for some kind of downside action overnight and then look to see if Valero rips back through 31 tomorrow to see if I can take a shot in Valero. And I do want to take some shots in oil because I do think that oil could go to the 100 spot, but we'll find out. Smash the like if you guys are just jumping in, just tuning in here. Of course, you guys are at Start Swing Trade, where we talk a little bit about some swing trading action, cover all the moves in the market, covered what sectors and industries were hot. We always like to work backwards in the market to find the themes. One theme that I've been pointing at and getting out of the oil theme is what? Well, I've been pointing at taking a look at retail, XRT. Look at the XRT go, guys. Nice little move there. I talked about this on pre-market prep this morning, live trading this morning. So if you're not catching the early talk, well, you're going to seem like I'm cherry picking here, but really, really nice calls there in retail. Retail changing due to seasonality coming into play. Take a look at Best Buy. Not looking too bad. I'll see if this kind of takes off through the 71. Starbucks, not doing too bad, starting to come back to the 94. One of the areas that I think we're getting an opportunity in is Amazon today, but that's if you feel like we're going to go right back to the upside. Shop also was one of those that I mentioned yesterday, starting to look good. This is looking better as we keep going. Of course, you see this reversal signal. Now, if it can get back above this kind of 56, it can start grinding back higher. And I think we got to keep our eyes on what was my call this morning, Macy's, KSS, those types of names, department stores were what I was going to be looking at in this space, and not looking too bad there in department stores right now. We'll see what happens, up 4.14%. KSS almost 10% day. Macy's 5.15 from the open. I hope somebody was able to listen to pre-market prep and nail some of these trades. Not a bad move there in Macy's today. And overall, what is this? This is just kind of that consumer thought we were low. We got good retail numbers today. Seasonality comes in. I think these stocks eventually go lower in January, even lower through the lows that you see on the dailies. But right now, they could bounce back and continue bouncing back. So I don't want to fight these right now. I want to almost reverse on them for a couple of months, and then I can come back to shorting. Take a look at leisure today. This tells us it all, guys. Look how leisure is getting the spike. Look at apparel manufacturing. I've been talking about these, right? Even footwears and accessories. What have I been saying? Keep your eyes on Nike, as that could keep going higher. Now to 103.06. Just yesterday, it was at 100. And the day prior, it was at 99s. And we talked about, would it get above 100 and keep going? Looks like this retail trade is not doing too bad there. Bruce, I love the ups and downs. Trading in a channel gives me the opportunity to work both sides using options. Hey, get after it, Bruce. That's one of the good things of options, is that you can play both sides, right? We'll see what happens there. All right, let's keep going. Smash the like out there, guys. 59 of you guys. Let's see if we can get some more traders in here. You guys, we're getting to the point where we need you guys to smash the like. Show us that you guys appreciate me being here in the afternoons. If not, let me know, guys. I could talk about industries and sectors and keep playing them myself. So hit the like button. Let's keep going. All right, let's take a look at what else is making moves here. As you guys can see, this was the area to be right now. It just seems like it. When you're seeing luxury goods get a spike in an environment like this, where we expect the consumer to eventually slow down, this just goes to show you it's not right now. Look at Fossil get a little bit of a spike there. Even Signet Jewelers getting a nice little lift here, starting to push. This looks like not a bad play. Take a look at the weekly chart, right? A lot of kind of bottoming action here. If we could get back above the 80s, this doesn't look too bad. I know that you're thinking, what, luxury goods? Yeah, who knows, man? That's just how this market can go. The reverse psychology comes into play, seasonality coming into play, and now these stocks are looking strong. Even recreational vehicles, Harley Davidson getting a little bit of a lift today. So keep your eyes on that. THO, Thor's Industries. And you guys can watch these as they start to get a little bit of a lift. Some will be stronger than others, so keep your eyes on that, right? Stitch Fix, Victoria's Secret, one that we were talking about on live trading that was hot, continuing to get strong. These names that you don't expect to get a lift are getting a nice little push. So be careful out there, team. AEO, another day higher. ANF, look at that, another day higher. So keep your eyes on these. Not looking too bad. This one's topping a little bit today, but man, there's been some strength in, of course, retail retail names. Don't miss that, guys. Residential construction going right back to the upside. Of course, DHI, not looking too bad there. Eventually, I'm going to probably get after this DHI. I would just like to see one more dip towards 100, and then I don't mind going after the residential construction. Okay, yes, this market is confusing, and I agree. It is confusing. It's been a lot of kind of mixed noise, a lot of reverse psychology, contrarian moves that seem to be making the money right now. And that's when kind of everything's out of tune, right? We're not having one specific variable lead. Sometimes technicals lead, sometimes story lead, sometimes fundamentals lead the party. Right now, it's a mix. Some stocks are moving because they're moving technically, like let's say like in a firm. Look at this starting to push higher, right? Some stocks are just making a move, right? Some stocks are going with some story, and there is story stocks out there right now. Coin would be a specific name, right? Mara, names like that. Why are those stocks moving? Well, because of the Bitcoin ETF, names like that, right? Well, then there's other things, right? Like fundamentals coming into play, like on Nvidia today, right? Fundamentals knocking it down, a headline knocking it down, right? There's so much out there, guys. Banking concerns. Look at Goldman Sachs come down today. Yet JPM also coming back down today. We'll see what happens there, guys. It seems like there's a very confusing mix of kind of stories out there, variables that are moving the market. And when it's like this, we can play a lot of chop. And you know what it is in the end? It's a stock pickers environment where you have to be very careful in what stock you're going into, because you could even be shorting an industry and that stock specifically go down, yet some other stocks somehow get the lift and it starts to push. It actually happened to me today on my day trade. I was going long on FAZ, which is a bearish outlook. Yet, look at Goldman Sachs out the gates. That went down pretty significant there. And then came back and gave me another opportunity to short it. Well, there you guys have it. That's what we want to be looking at. We want to be focusing on where's the theme leading right now? What's the current market environment? And to tell you the truth, the current market environment is changing almost on a daily basis, especially when we get news like this from China. All right, let's keep going, team. We'll take a look at some other action there. Marty, what's going on? Some buyers showing up to the closing bell. Yeah, that just goes to show you. I mean, wouldn't it make sense that now that you kind of put some pressure on those bulls that probably bought up and you stop them out here, now to drive it right back up there towards the end? That just goes to show you it's such a hard market right now, guys. And you guys know I'm not going to act like it's easy out there. It's not easy by any means. All right, let's keep going, team. We can take a look. Industrials not having a bad day. Cat getting a little bit of a bounce back. Did Deere get above the 400? No, it did do a grind up there to 395, but not back above the 400. I've been drawing this trend line, and that's an important outlook for me to catch when Deere wants to come back through like 395, 396, and make that 400 run again. I'll be watching on Deere. Lockheed Martin up another 0.6%. Cat did pretty decent today. Honeywell in the red a little bit. GE bouncing back a little bit. This hasn't let go at all. I mean, to think that that's the only pullback that we've had from a monster run in GE, that just goes to show me GE might not be actually a bad stock to think about. We'll see what happens there. Boeing getting a little bit of a bounce after it's been kind of hit really hard. Bad news keeps coming in on Boeing. It just seems like even when it gets the bounce, it's not loved right now. We'll see if it goes another leg lower. Nothing that I'm looking at right now, at least on Boeing. All right, financial services still staying green. That's interesting to catch there. Let's see how the KRE did today. Of course, I'm going to be watching to see what happens there. KRE getting a big spike up. We'll see if it comes right back down. It was a tough day yesterday, but big move right back up to the upside today. We'll see what happens there. MTB is definitely going to be on my alert to kind of catch overnight here. And this is where I feel like getting short at least overnight to take a shot here on MTB. That's the hard part here. Do I take my shot, guys? I want to. A little part of me wants to. The only problem is this has gone sideways for so long that it could get a little bit of a bounce back towards 128 and then the knockdown. We'll see what happens in the report. If this starts to come down, this doesn't look too bad. A little part of me is betting on the downside. I'd have to go short right now to maybe take a shot there. Man, it'd be a tough one to kind of come after. Let me see what I can do here. Do I come after at least small? Let's try to get a little bit of a stop here. Trying to get a little bit here if I could get it. No fill just yet. I'll let you guys know if I do get a fill. Orders out there. I'll let you guys know if I get a fill here. Come on, man. There we go. Got it. 124.48's there. Now let's see what happens. I'm going at this very small, guys. Normally, I'd probably be about double his size. Things haven't worked out too good. So I'm going to take a little bit of an overnight trade here. MTB to the downside. Earnings, and this is a little bit scary. I'll tell you guys, I don't do this often. I usually get burned. So big outlook there. We'll see what happens. I'm going to take a little bit of a shot. The way that I'm going about it is just staying really, really small. So just be a base hit either way. Even if I get a good trade on it, it won't be that big. But I am in the green right now as it starts to come down towards the close. It's 3:59. The market's about to close here. Look how this is starting to rally back. We'll see what happens on NVIDIA. NVIDIA is the important one. If this could come back tomorrow through 450s, yes, the market could come back. But if we start seeing NVIDIA take out 425s and go back to 420s, yeah, you got to be careful there in NVIDIA. We'll find out what happens if we finally start going back to the gap zones on NVIDIA. That would not be a good outlook. All right, guys, that's going to probably do it in just a second. We'll have that bell ring here. It's 4 p.m. already. Stay in the tune, guys. We'll see what happens. Solar bouncing today. That doesn't tell me anything that I want to actually stay on those names. We'll see what happens in software application. Definitely saw those names get a little bit of a bounce, but definitely keep your eyes open for some earnings. There's going to be some bigger names reporting tonight. And I'm going to continue seeing the docket kind of get filled out here. So tonight, what do we got, right? We'll get United. Big report for me to kind of catch, right? What goes on in the airlines? Will the airlines turn around here towards the end of the year? And then maybe, yeah, we see another hit. But I think they could turn around. DAL could be that report to really kind of get us started. UAL is the one that's reporting tonight. United. We'll see if that starts to turn back around. Where are my levels on United that I want to kind of see? Well, let's just get back over, let's say 41. 41 tomorrow. I'll start looking at these airlines to maybe take a little bit of a play. Americans all the way down to 12. Glad I got rid of it at, man, this was a big pain hit that I took on this. I took a 10% cut down on this, but I saved myself going down 21%. So, hey, sometimes getting out can save you that extra 10%, right? And then now I can get in for the turn and look to see if this starts to turn around. So what will that turn be? A move to like 1250 tomorrow. We'll see what happens there on American. And there's other names that will be reporting tomorrow before the open. ASML could be a really hard hit, depending on what happened necessarily with the China mentions today. Also, catch tomorrow that PG report. And of course, that Alliance Health is going to be an interesting one. They were getting a lift today. I saw it out the gates. It was starting to get a little bit of a push. UNH did make a little bit of a run, but now has been pulling back. We'll see what happens. Can this really get the healthcare plans to continue to go to the upside? CVS was one that I talked about on Monday that looked sleepy, that looks like it wants to get going. If ELV can have a really good report, maybe that's what really gets the driver started here for CVS to come right back up above this and start to push towards the 73s. We'll see what happens there on healthcare plans and some other earning stocks. Like always, keep up with all the action. Catch me tomorrow morning on PreMarket Prep. We'll cover all these stocks that had earnings. We'll take a look at what's the most important topic that's driving the bus right now in the current market environment. We'll talk a lot about what happened today. And it seems like the max pain trade, volatility moving all around. It just seems like the market's all over the place. If you guys want to keep up and stay in tune with the markets, just stay right here, of course, on Benzinga. See you guys in the morning. Smash the like and always keep upping those skills. See you next time, traders, right here on Start Swing Trade.